One of the most frustrating things to me is looking back after I've finished an edit, finished a project, and I see the ways that I wasted time. I see how much more quickly I could have finished an edit, but I didn't. What's up? Today's topic is editing and how much time I think can be saved in the editing process. Every single year, it tends to be towards the end of the year where all of my clients end up wanting everything done. They want everything completed, which is a good thing because that means I get paid. The bad thing is I only have so much time. And with that, I can only get so much done. So today I'm gonna go through some tips that I've kind of implemented myself over the years to help me save time in my edits. The first is break down your edits into segments. Divide and conquer. Instead of looking at an edit for a client as a huge task, just one huge thing that you got to get done, instead break it down into small segments, small tasks, things that can be knocked out really easily in less than 30 minutes. These small tasks can be as simple as sequencing and cutting down your interview to a workable length, or cutting through and working through all of your B-roll and getting your selects ready to be used in your edit, or sequencing your music, or the next step, just applying your music or putting in sound effects to your edit. For me, I know that I can develop a defeated mindset before even starting the edit, before even running into any difficulties. I can view it as something that I don't want to do, that I'm going to have trouble doing, because I'm viewing it as something humongous that is just gonna take mountains of time. With viewing your edit as something to do in small chunks, you'll always be accomplishing small tasks and you'll always feel like you're making ground, you're making improvements, you're accomplishing something, and it's a little mind trick that helps you get through, continue to work through and persevere through an edit. Next is sourcing your music and your sound effects beforehand. Now, confession, I don't do this all the time. I haven't implemented this in every single one of my edits, but on edits that I know are gonna have more pressure, that are gonna take more time in the actual edit outside of sound and music, I've noticed that sourcing and preparing my music and my sound effects beforehand helps me focus on those other tasks and saves me so much more time. And before I started doing this, I would start searching for my music and my sound effects about halfway through or 3/4 through an edit. Honestly, when I'm at that point, my headspace is not in the right place to look for music. Trying to change how I'm thinking into the music side of things can be difficult, which then leads to a huge amount of wasted time searching through music because I'm not in the right mindset. Usually before I start an edit, I know what the end product is gonna look like. I've thought through the mood, the vibe, the client expectations pretty thoroughly so that I know what I want this end product to look like, which then makes sourcing music much easier. The third tip is set time limits for yourself. When I first started doing this, I would edit for hours upon hours straight, thinking that I was hustling, doing a great job, knocking this out of the park, when really I was just wasting time. I know that I have a limit. When I get to a certain point, I become much less productive. I'm working, but I'm working at a much slower pace. Like, I'm conscious of what I'm doing. I am working towards the end goal, but it is so much slower than what it should be. And the way to overcome this is setting time intervals, such as working for an hour, then taking 10 minutes off, or working for 30 minutes and taking 5 minutes off. Or some people can work for 2 hours and then take 25 minutes off. Everyone's time interval is going to be different, and depending on the day, mine's different too. But I just know that I need breaks, even longer breaks too. I'll go work out at the gym, or I'll sit down and read a book for 30 minutes, or I'll go on a run, and then I can get back to work properly and work at a much faster and productive speed than I would have had I not taken any breaks. My last and final tip here is planning for your edit in your shooting. Now, I know this can't always be controlled because sometimes you're not always editing your footage. You're gonna be editing someone else's footage, or you got hired on a job and it's already been shot and you just get handed a hard drive. But if you're gonna be shooting, you're going to have a lot of control over how easy you can make the edit for you. These are really practical and not complicated things that you can do that will speed it up. The big ones that come to me are monitoring your footage while you're shooting with the same LUT that you'll be using in your edit, so that when you get to your edit, you already know what it's going to look like. All you have to do is apply the LUT. Or another way is that if you're going to be shooting interviews, you run your audio through your camera so that your audio is already laid over your footage. You're not going to have to match that up in post. Or if you're going to be shooting B-roll on the project, you have control over how much you're going to shoot. A lot of times when I get a hard drive from someone and I edit it, I feel like I have to go through every single clip of B-roll. If you're going to be shooting, you have control over that. You can make sure that you get all the shots and then stop shooting and then go on, which then will save you time in the edit. You're not wasting more time going through more B-roll. You have control over what you shoot and you know what you're gonna have in the edit. All right guys, I hope this video and these tips have helped you out in some way. I know these things have helped me get through hundreds of videos and hours of edits from multiple different clients, all happening at the same time. So I hope it does the same for you. Thanks for watching, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for helping me build this channel and create this content. I love doing this. So hope you have a great day. See you soon.